Oh, hey guys, you guys are still here. Thanks for sticking around. Just over here changing the oil on Phil's Challenger. And I thought I would do a cool update here on the Viper. There really hasn't been anything to show in a little while. There hasn't been any cool bikini car washes or anything like that. If you guys want to see that, Phil and I take our cars over to the local Twin Peaks and they have the Bikini Girl car wash over on our Zaid Comics channel. The girl's washing the Viper, thinking that is the coolest car that they've ever seen, which is awesome because it is one of the coolest cars out there. 20 years old this car already is. 2024 it is right now. You know, it's a 2004 Dodge Viper SRT 10, 8.3 liter V10 engine. Just gorgeous car, convertible, awesome. My favorite car, you know, was something I had the means to pick up so many years ago. I think it's already been 6 years that we've had this car here. Drive it as much as I can. You know, we live in Chicago here, so it's not as often as I would like to, but the car only has about 40,000 miles on it right now, and I was planning on putting a lot more on it, but you know, winters, you can't really drive the Viper in the winter, so encountered some problems over this amount of time. You know, originally we had to change the tires, we got all the fluids changed when we first got it, and encountered a couple of things. We'll go over those and get underneath the hood here. So here we are with the 8.3 liter V10 Dodge Viper engine in all of its amazing glory. But 20 years has passed since this engine was put together, and my mechanic is telling me that there's some things wrong with it and some things that you could feel, you know. One of the big problems, apparently, is something that happens often, is the cooling fan has warped. So when the cooling fan kicks on to cool off the radiator, there's a bit of an imbalance that happens in the car. It feels like the car is working overtime. You know, that's something that we'll want to fix in the not too distant future. I'm not sure exactly when. You know, winter's coming up here in the Chicagoland area pretty soon, so maybe it'll be time to get in here and do some stuff. As you can see here, this was basically like this when I first bought the car. There's some paint peeling off of these oil covers here on the engine. Definitely love to get those off and powder coat those at some point. It doesn't seem like it's too big of a job, and something that could be done over a nice winter break. That one is peeling. This one's just starting to peel over here on this side. As you can see, the engine's not too dirty. Of course, it's garage kept all the time. This was a big point of failure earlier this year. For whatever reason, they thought that this kind of Dodge stock coolant reservoir there was going to be a good idea. So there are these little crevices here, and on the side they were starting to crack and create a little fissure, and actually coolant was weeping out of them and it was getting worse over time. So we picked up an old one that was out of probably a decommissioned Viper, and I took some JB Weld epoxy resin, kind of filled in those little crevice areas, and then we put that heat tape over it, so hopefully some of that radiation will get reflected back off of it, and we'll see. Time will tell how that goes, but hopefully if we could get another 10-20 years out of this reservoir, that'll be pretty good. We encountered back here on one of these two spark plugs, there is a coolant leak seemingly going from the head gasket that's on this side. It's really, really minor. I've never noticed a low coolant level in the reservoir ever in the entire lifetime I've had this car. It's just a bit over 6 years already. Never had to fill it up with extra coolant, top it off or anything like that. Similarly with the oil, never had any contamination problems. So it seems like there might be coolant just leaking from through that head gasket right into the cylinder. Obviously, we don't want that. That's a much bigger job that we'll have to tackle one day. And on this side, we have a similar problem that's going to be a bit of a bigger job too. Mechanic is telling me that there is on the exhaust manifold side here, there is a little bit of a leak of exhaust pressure, and you could hear it when the engine's running. It's kind of a, and that's something we'll have to dive into also. So all in all, I mean, runs great, tons of power still. Haven't encountered the power steering issue that seems to be a common problem. Haven't encountered that. No oil, running dry or starving for oil or anything. Coolant, radiators really good. Hoses have been really, really good. Really haven't had to do too much of anything except for general maintenance on this engine in all of this time, which I'm very, very happy about, because obviously we don't want to have a gigantic sports car expense draining our bank accounts. Who wants that? So after 20 years, paint still looks pretty good. When you get a good coat of wax on it, she shines like a black mirror, which is amazing. I have noticed up here on this part of the hood specifically, it does feel rough to the touch, whereas over here it feels really smooth like a glass. Not sure if this is like a sun damage or if this is the heat from the engine. This engine gets incredibly hot, so maybe, not really sure. Probably going to have the car maybe over next year ceramic coated or something like that, one of those professional jobs. I think that would be really good, because obviously want to keep the original paint, don't really want to wrap it, and don't want to see this thing getting that oxidized paint structure that you'll see on a lot of older cars. And interior wise, it's about the same. It was pretty well used when I got the car. Haven't really done too much inside of it, except for doing a little bit of patching around that stitching over there. I had to replace this speaker grill because that speaker grill was missing, so we 3D printed that one with our logo on it, and recently made a cup holder for that oversized ashtray holder in there. So now that fits a nice coffee cup or something. That's printed 3D printed out of TPU. And we also discovered after 6 years how the car gets hot inside, and the air conditioning, you could run it if you want. I tend to not run the air conditioning in any of my cars, but if you take this guy and you flip it up just like this, it catches just enough air and dumps it straight down into your lap. Makes the driving experience completely different, so much more enjoyable on those incredibly hot days. It's kind of a complete change of lifestyle benefit. It was night and day. Very, very crazy. Convertible top, still doing really, really good. I can only imagine that this is the original. Getting a little bit of rust here, but just do some touch-up paint on that. Top opens up real smooth. No tears or ugly creases. Glass is still doing really nice, so very, very happy about that. Not something that I'm looking forward to replacing at some point. Seals are all doing okay. This one's drying out a little bit right there. I think it's just a bad design. And then the windows, the regulator on the windows are creaking a little bit too. I haven't changed the brakes since I got the car, and it didn't seem like it was necessary. I'm not really sure how many sets of pads or rotors this car's had in its lifetime, but since the past 5 years or so, or 6 years that we've had the car already, haven't changed these, and they've been pretty good. I think the back driver's side one is getting a little squeaky, so it seems like it's time. And tires are doing pretty good too. They're about 5-6 years old already. This seems low, but honestly I don't remember how low it was when I bought the original tires. But this big rain drain here in the middle still has a lot of meat to it. So we'll see if we could go a couple more summers on these guys, which would be fantastic, because I can't even imagine how expensive these are. When you first bought the car and you got the new tires, they were $2,200. Now they're going to be outrageous. I don't even want to mess with that right now. All in all, super happy with the car. sometimes I'll encounter people at the gas station and they're ooh and ah asking me, how long I've had the car. And when I tell them over 5 years, they're very shocked. They say that people generally will buy this, drive it around for a summer or so, and they'll get rid of it because it's a little too rough or too harsh, or the clutch is too heavy for them. I specifically remember one guy telling me exactly that, because it's a race car for the street. And he didn't I think the clutch was too heavy. Like, honestly, this is the only manual transmission car that I've ever driven regularly, so this is the bar for me. Any other thing would be, plus or minus. So this is where my zero is at. So this is what I'm used to, and this is all I know. So I love it. Couldn't imagine anything else, really. Manual transmission's awesome, and I have a ton of fun in this car. Want to keep it around for a really, really long time. Don't have any plans of getting rid of her ever. And so I want to keep her in tip-top shape as much as possible. Hopefully one day we could do a lot more to her, and get her like engine bulletproofed. And hopefully one day they'll allow us to get rid of those front plates without having a problem. Fix up that front end there, because they just drilled holes right into the bumper cover, which is one of the reasons why I haven't gotten rid of the front plate anyway. So here we go. 2004 Dodge Viper SRT 10, all original, still running 90%, but hey, there she is. 20-year-old car, looking gorgeous, still looking fantastic, still nothing on the road that looks quite as awesome. Very unique car. I'm loving it, and I'm gonna be loving it for years. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully there'll be some more videos eventually. Maybe just a couple of updates here and there. We'll see. Thank you guys. Go check out our other channel, Zaid Comics, zaidcomics.com. And because that's what we love doing, comic books and art. So if you guys want to go and check out some of that cool stuff, please go over there and help us out. That would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.